It's no secret how residents feel about the roads in West Virginia. And now a report has been released about the effects of the roads that they're having on your wallets. 5's Veronica Ubey explains.
As much as West Virginians love country roads, it seems they might not love us back. A recent report shows roads that are deteriorating, congested, or lack some safety features cost motorists in our state over $1.5 billion annually. And when looking specifically in our region, it was projected that drivers in Morgantown lose on average $1,200 per year. But apart from losing money, people could also lose a loved one. Work done would not only provide residents with safer ways to travel, but improve the state economically.
It is crucial to attracting business. It is crucial to having high-paying jobs, not only in the construction industry, but throughout the entire economy.
Since 2017, the state has approved increases in the state's motor fuel, registration fees, and taxes on new car purchases to support additional highway investments. This is in addition to a referendum that was approved to allow the state to borrow up to $1.6 billion to fund Governor Jim Justice's Road to Prosperity initiative. However, 4 years later, the same problem still resides. Senator Shelley Moore Capito says they are working on a highway bill, but right now the state needs $750 million for repairs and an additional $380 million for expansion.
Traffic engineers are diagnosing what needs fixing in our road system, and today a national group released results of a study that it did, finding our state's transportation system is in serious need of some TLC. News 5's Spencer Humphrey joins us live in the Springs with a larger issue that comes with these findings. Spencer.
Well, you probably don't have to do a study to find people spend a lot of time waiting in traffic in Colorado Springs. But what one study did find is that wait is costing people like you and me, and it could be keeping our state from reaching its full economic potential.
Losing time and money away from their families, away from their jobs.
It's all summed up in a new report by the national nonprofit group TRIP, which looks at road systems and how they affect the communities around them.
The key finding of the TRIP report is that Colorado is one of the fastest growing states in the country. Is going to need a significant boost in transportation funding.
The report detailed drivers in our area spend an average of 44 extra hours sitting in traffic each year, wasting 19 gallons of fuel annually too.
Vehicle travel in Colorado is growing at the 7th highest rate nationally.
But the report also found funding isn't keeping up.
As underfunded as our system is, and as many problems as we have, we've been borrowing money.
And the effects reach beyond the average driver.
The costs to our community are significant.
Local economic leaders say gridlock could be driving business away.
And transportation is one of the top 2 concerns that we consistently hear about, both from our businesses that we're trying to attract to move to Colorado and bring new jobs here, as well as businesses that are already in the state.
It's why leaders are calling for action.
Our legislators and our governor to take action this year.
Because the only way to keep growing is to keep traffic flowing.
There is nearly $3 billion worth of work to be done on some of New Mexico's busiest roads, but not enough money to do it all. News 13's Stephanie Chavez is here with a look at the annual road report, the problem areas, and what changes you could see.
Kim, the state released its annual TRIP report, which shows a lot of roads in New Mexico are in need of some major TLC.
These are projects to improve safety on the state's transportation system, to relieve traffic congestion or expand mobility to help support economic development opportunities.
And lawmakers in southwest New Mexico say the I-10 corridor needs reconstruction and upgrades to infrastructure and design standards.
That is a major interstate commerce, highway used for interstate commerce, but also for people's daily transportation. It needs repair, and it's pretty urgent.
The bill is making its way through the legislature that would raise the state gas tax by a penny every year for the next 5 years. Sponsors say that would bring in $150 million more for that backlog of road projects.
Live. This is News 8 at 11.
New report finds deteriorated and congested roads and bridges cost drivers in the New Haven area nearly $2,100 a year. The report was released today by TRIP. a national transportation research nonprofit. They say that $2,100 figure comes from higher vehicle operating costs, traffic crashes, congestion-related delays as well.
The report we're releasing today, Transportation's Vital Role in Connecticut's Recovery, is based on an analysis of the latest data from a variety of national and state sources.
Statewide, they say 34% of Connecticut's major roadways are in poor condition, 28% mediocre. Tripp says increased investment in transportation could relieve traffic, improve road conditions, and support economic growth.
At the early stages of the pandemic, travel on North Dakota roads decreased by nearly a third. As travel rebounds to nearly pre-pandemic levels, weaknesses in North Dakota infrastructure are now being exposed. Mike D'Andrea has this story.
Driving on rough roads is costing North Dakotans an average of more than $750 every year in vehicle maintenance. The increase of motorists on the road is also increasing the amount of time North Dakotans spend stuck in traffic. This raised awareness for much-needed repairs out on the roadways.
Business leaders feel that, continued and increased investment in transportation infrastructure is really critical to the future of our state.
Nearly $200 billion in goods are estimated to be imported and exported on North Dakota roadways. Leaders in ag stress the importance of well-maintained infrastructure.
It's so critically important to have that in an adequate state so that we can take care of North Dakota agricultural business and the North Dakota economy.
Reporting for KX News in Bismarck, I'm Mike D'Andrea.
85% of North Dakota's international exports go to Mexico and Canada, with the majority shipped via truck drivers.
Mark, thank you. Faulty roads and heavy rain are a bad combination, and they can even prove deadly. Today, a road conditions report spotlights roads in Lafayette and around the state. News 10's Renee Allen has the report.
Being able to get from point A to point B depends not only on the driver but on the road conditions. Here's a fact from that national research group based out of Washington called Tripp. They found that the average Lafayette resident spends about $2,000 a year just on the conditions of the roads.
Continue to go up. The deaths didn't dramatically as directly related to the roadways and conditions. Didn't go up quite as much this year, but then again, there was the lull due to COVID.
In recent days, extreme weather has created more of a challenge for motorists trying to drive on broken, decayed, and pothole-riddled roads. The group calls on Louisiana lawmakers to get serious about funding and resources to make sure infrastructure remains viable. Strong roads are more likely to survive during storms. Louisiana Coalition to Fix Our Roads agrees a lack of funds leads to the deterioration of infrastructure. They say it's painfully obvious Louisiana has some work to do to bring roads and bridges up to standard.
If you go to 2017's number and you take today's number, $900 million increase in 4 years cost to drivers. Like Adam said, we're paying it already. It's just how do we want to pay it?